ですので、私は望みます。ふつつか者ではございますが、どうか私をあなたの妻となさってください。私はあなたの
You know what? What was the review? Is it like a 10 out of 10? What do you rate it? What do you rate it? You cheated by accident. Oh. 100 out of 10. Yeah, that probably. Hello, FBI. Welcome aboard the Lolly Express. Oh, so that's interesting. Please present your boarding pass now. I'm afraid you will not be able to board without a ticket. Look, all I'm saying is that these videos that I'm getting recommended are insane. Especially that one. But you still want me to play Maitetsu? Cause you know, you didn't add you set the title wrong. All right. Well, I guess that means we're jumping into Maitetsu. So you know, all of the audio mixing I was trying to do with the characters in Amazing Grace before the stream, we throw that out of the window. You know, the new thing I had for Amazing Grace, I throw it out of the window. Because we're playing Maitetsu. Hang on, where's the audio? There it is. We're playing Maitetsu this time with the fuck version because the Steam version doesn't work with HC. Okay. But yeah, let's add some appropriate attire and yeah. Anyway, last time we started off, right? We flew on a plane and then we found this girl in a glass case, right? What is she doing there? Oh, she's just a doll. Oh wait, no, she isn't a doll. She's an AI? She's a rail lord. So like, you know, I wanted an excuse to anyway, so it was the perfect timing with you streaming it. Okay. Why did you purchase it a second time? Also, I'm glad that Maitetsu's sequel, or well, alternate version, I guess, isn't translated in English outside of machine translation, because that shit is 94 hours. So I am so glad that I hope that I don't have to play this ever, because the Maitetsu first game is 38 hours. That's as long as that's as long as I can take with trained girls, I guess. I know what I'm saying. Anyway, you know, we flew on the plane, right? And then we flew on it again with Hachiroku. And stuff happened. And we're trying to find coal because Hachiroku has a steam engine as a replacement for her stomach. But she has a digestive system and needs to chew the coal with her whatever the teeth are made out of. With her whatever the fuck teeth that are made out of something. I'm not gonna read that. So anyway, you know, let's just jump right into it, shall we? Enough railing. Alright, we're not here to get railed. We're here to rail. I mean, what? Anyway, let's get back into it. I have a second save here for the CGs because, of course, the CGs are either 18 plus on like online or they don't exist. And of course you can't view them until you finish a route, right? So fuck me, I guess. Anyway, fucking stop stalling. Summer tracks. Those words on their own sound clear and refreshing, but
随分と汚れているな。
it's covered in rust and mud. No part of this place is refreshing, to be honest. I find it unsightly. I purchased it again because the Steam version doesn't have hate scenes, even with the patch. But if you do install the patch, you do see the nipple in that scene. Right. But they don't have hate scenes.
僕はよく知らんのだが、鉄道の線路というのはこんなものなのか？
実用品の最たるものです。汚れ、傷むのは当然ですが、これはそう、いささか手入れが悪すぎますね。
I don't like false hope. I don't like giving it to others just as much as I don't like giving it to myself.
ならば、ナビの周辺情報とやらは古かったのかもしれん。この路線はすでに廃線されているのではないか？
And with the Faku version, you have to allow controversial content, which wasn't working for me when I first tried to play this. Right. If, you know, I'm just gonna pirate it. If you can't get hate scenes in the Steam version, I'm just, you know.
いいえ、相鉄様。確かに痛みくたびれてはいますが、このレールは生きています。
I mean, you can try. There's no trying. I can pirate it. Instant declaration. Her words feel convincing because she's speaking fact. Speaking fact.
ほう、なぜわかる？
当面です。
The wheel treads. Okay, yeah, that's what I expected. I guess that needs a glossary entry. I'm installing the patch on the Steam version. I mean, yeah, I'll do that first, and if there's no hate scenes, I'll, you know, obviously.
当面。
踏む面と書いて当面と読みます。相鉄様にでしたら、これだけで十分なのでは？
なるほどな。
Yeah, I just read the glossary entry for it. I blankly look at the tracks. Hachiroku gives me a hint, and I understand.
列車が踏む。車輪で削る面であるから当面か。故に、そこだけは錆びつかない。
The top of the tracks. The top of the tracks does not have rust. The top of the tracks do not have rust or dirt on it. I guess. It had a dull silver color, as if it were sanded down.
もしも廃線されていれば、当然、列車は走らず、故にレールも削られはせず。
Oh, and you can unlock all hate scenes right from the get-go. I only did it to make sure the hate scenes weren't censored, But I reverted that save, so I didn't. Right.
その通り、当面までもがサビと汚れに覆われるのです。そうして全ては朽ちていきます。
Hachiroku walks briskly on the gravel laid by the tracks. She walks lightly in small strides, barely making any noise. Her strides are so small that it's difficult to match them. This is why you carry her, alright? Because she's too slow on her own.
生きてはいますが、残念ながら上空で相鉄様が言われた通りの状況のようですね。
僕が
青息と息と、実際このバラストはもう限界を超えています。
Hachiroku crouches down, picking up the pebbles, not the sand from below the tracks.
それがバラストか。
バラストであったものです。相鉄様、こうなってはもうバラストとしての用をなしません。
When you hit 21, you're past your prime. Yeah, coming from the American where drinking age starts at 21. Hachiroku explains it concisely. The ballast is the grave supporting the tracks and cross ties. By crushing itself, it absorbs the shock caused by the train dealt to the tracks. The trains dealt to the tracks.
砂にまで砕けてしまっては、バラストとしての役割はもう果たせんわけか。
I was mostly joking, just so you know. Which part of it was which part of it weren't you joking about?
はい。ですので普通はもっと早い段階でバラストを敷き直すのですが。
予算がないか、人員がないか、その両方か。いずれ従前ではない状況にあるのは変わらんか。
と思われます。レールも軽いものですから、この状態では振動がかなりひどくなりましょうし。
うん。
振動は車体や貨物に悪影響を与えます。乗客がいるのなら苦情もきっと出てきましょう。
乗客か。
We are in what people call the aircraft age. In this day and age, every single person can afford one. Vibrations vibrate. Okay. The passengers that continue riding trains must have their own reasons for doing so.
私が整備ボディならバラスト式のお手伝いくらいはできるのですが。
整備ボディ。
自分の車両の整備もまたレールロードの仕事なのです。とはいえ、この体では力仕事がこなせません。
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Any theories so far on anything? No. There's no mystery here yet. Hachiroku flexes her thin arm to reinforce the point. I don't see any muscles anywhere.
ですので、私たちレールロードは運行管理ボディと整備ボディの2種の体を使い分けるのです。
ほう、器用なものだな。
器用。いえ、人間で言えば適切な工具を使うとかバニヤー服に着替えるような感じではないかと。
Look, the only thing interesting is that the rail lords and / the aircraft have this communication system that is so much more advanced than our current technology, our current communication systems, right? They're instantly able to communicate with one another on what exactly is happening. What do you mean? Isn't there some mystery where you're at. I guess not really. What's currently happening is that Hachiroku just needs coal. There's not really anything going on. This isn't the same as Amazing Grace, all right?
そんなものか。ん
There are some why questions, right? No. What questions did you have when you were playing, when you were at this point of the game? Off on the horizon, I see something hazy come up, wavering in the distance from the heat.
86、来い。
なんでしょう、相鉄様。
Once she's close enough, I wrap an arm around her side and pick her up. I lift her higher than my face. He's gonna do that thing, isn't he? Probably just being down bad the first time I started playing this, of course.
見えるか？あれだ。
He has her up on his shoulders.
駅です。
I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is that Hachiroku is a lot heavier than you would expect, right? Because she's not human, so she's got metallic parts, right? I guess. I don't know. She works like a steam she has like steam engine parts. Wouldn't that make the sex better? What? Sure. She answers immediately. Her feet start kicking in midair.
ならば行くぞ。落ちるなよ。
相鉄様。
I hold Hachiroku close to my chest. Oh, never mind. He's just holding her at the waist level. I thought he said that it was holding her up above his head. I mean, if you are heavier, more pressure, right? Or am I wrong? You get to a certain point where it's more detrimental to your pelvis. All right. Only about 100 feet left. We get closer to the station. Hachiroku's grip on my collar lightens. But Hachiroku doesn't have to worry about that. Yeah, I guess. She's not that heavy, alright? She's heavy for her size. That doesn't mean she's heavy in general. That's how he's easily able to lift her.
相鉄様。これは廃液です。
Bro, it's been 12 fucking minutes. How do you already have fucking audio issues? Piece of shit, OBS. Then are they ever gonna fix this? You need a new computer? It's not me! It's fucking OBS! Anyway, what did you say again?
相鉄様。これは廃液です。
I haven't heard it on any other stream/VOD. Well, yeah, that's because not many streamers use application audio capture. They just have one setup. They just have one audio capture for their entire computer. That's why there's not an issue there. Unlike me, who has separate audio channels for everything. Right? So that if something accidentally is playing in the background, it's muted, right? That's why I have to always unmute and mute my YouTube audio mixer. Like hentai, yeah, of course. I step inside and see that Hachiroku was right. Grass and foliage have long since overrun the area, spreading and covering even the station's platform. The dull red of rust tears at the tracks.
なるほど。こちらの線路は生きていないな。
生きていないのは対比線だけではありません。
Hachiroku pulls out my clothes, guides me toward a direction of choice. On top of the platform are corroded rectangular wooden blocks.
これはあれか。なんとか駅という縦看板か。
はい。駅名標の名残ですね。こうも傷んでしまっては、もはやその役も果たせません。
Okay. Hang on. Why was there a glossary entry for station's name? Station sign. This is the sign or board that shows the name of the railway station. I never would have guessed. The white paint was chipped off. The red undercoating and parts of the wood are exposed as well. Thoughts? About what? The temperature in your room? Cold, I guess.
列車やレールロードと同じく、駅さえ死んでしまうものなのですね。
I like it like that. 55 to 60 is best. Yeah, in Celsius, that would be death levels. So the station's sign also doubles as its tombstone now. An F. I know, that's why I specified if it was in Celsius. Most of its writing has faded. Only one letter is still legible.
服か。名は太陽を表してはくれなかったのだな。
どうでしょう。家福や冥福という駅名であったのかもしれません。
まさか。
Would you have your room at that temp if you could? No. I would not. That's why my room is only at 24 degrees. Click the lock button in the bottom right. No, I know. It hides the menu, but it you know, I like seeing this bar at the bottom. So I keep it.
いいえ、あり得る話なのです。
75F is way too hot. No? 24 degrees, 24 Celsius is not hot. Especially when outside is usually 32. She gives off a slight smile. Hachiroku lights up lethargically.
駅名は地名由来が多いですから、怪我、不幸だという駅名もあります。
世の中は広いものだな。
I should have been Alaskan, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
そうですね。
Hachiroku's finger points at the rusted station placard.
広い世の中を少しでも狭くするお手伝いを私たちは懸命に果たしてきたつもりでしたが。
It's hard to tell if Hachiroku just can't bring herself to say the next words, or if she's intentionally holding back. Whichever it may be, it doesn't change what I have to say next.
物は滅びる。人は死ぬ。決まっている。それはどうあっても不可避のことだ。
Hachiroku called this the sidetrack earlier. It's the line that separates and goes around the platform. I could tell that those tracks have completely rusted the face of death.
しかし今、僕と86は生き延びている。この線路にしても、生き延びているものはある。
I have it unlocked. Personally, I like to see the game more. You're not missing out on you're not missing out on much. Hiding what is being hid when you hide this. To see more clearly. Right. That's cope. I point to the lines moving alongside the platform. Those tracks are silver. It looks better. Okay. Hang on. Do you also like... Where is it? Do you also lower the opacity of the window to 0 to see more of the game? In H scenes. Yeah, okay. I was joking, but... Look, lowering the opacity of the text box does a lot more than hiding this. Not during the story, though. I pointed the lines moving alongside the platforms. Those tracks are silver.
違うか？
違いません。相鉄様のおっしゃる通り、対比線は死んでいても、本線はまだ生きている。
Hachiroku's fingers brush the sign and move away from it. Her eyes look past where I pointed, and she looks up ahead.
でしたらどこかにまだ生きている駅もありましょう。そこにはきっと生きている列車と鉄道員も。
I have it less transparent normally, or more transparent. It's not like I need to see that all the time. Get what I mean, right? Yeah.
私はその方たちにお会いいたしたく思います。そして何か小さくてもお手伝いできること。
Growl.
86、時計とゼンマイ鍵を。
ありがとうございます、相鉄様。
You know, if real life was an anime, bro, the joke is when you go to Japan and you don't see the subtitles. Hachiroku's fuel efficiency seems to be quite bad. Continuing to depend on the winder isn't efficient.
手順に戻ろう。寄り道をしてしまったが、まずは何より腹ごしらえだ。
I was not talking about isekai or something. I thought you were talking back about the opacity. You hide the window, and now you have the text. It's like... Real life was an anime. But if Japan had the subtitles...
はい、相鉄様。どうぞお願いいたします。
任せろ。ナビ。
I call to it, and the plane flies above us. I was just saying if real life was an anime. Yeah. If real life was an anime, we would all be dead. It circles slowly around, and after shaking the tail 2 or 3 times, it flies in one direction.
行くぞ。あの先にナビが着水して待っている。
ナビは相鉄様を上空からフォローしていたのですか？
あれはいささかおせっかいでな。僕の身に危機が及ばぬよう見張りするのが趣味らしい。
見張りが趣味ですか。
I said it jokingly, but I wasn't joking at all. To save my life is the top priority. When Navi were still a prototype, that was the order given to it.
飛行型エアクラが処理すべき情報の量は地上型のそれとは段違いらしくてな。
それは当然のことでしょうね。どれほどの情報量か、私には想像もつきません。
Who gave the order to Navi anyway? The rail workers at the start of the game. I don't remember if we get an answer to that. I mean, you would assume it would have been one of the three people who brought up the Navi, who brought up the aircraft at the start of the game. Oh, that seems too simple. Occam's razor. You know? Huh? Oh, okay. Occam's razor. Shut up. Occam's razor is the principle where the simplest answer is usually the correct one, alright? You apply it to most conspiracy theories, right? And you apply it to this situation until, you know, a more viable answer is given, I guess. Are there times where that theory falls apart? Well, yeah. But that's why, you know, it's not used all the time.
故に飛行型のエアクラナビは調整が難しいものらしい。一度固まったところをいじろうとすれば壊れるほどに。
Which is why it was one of the very few prototypes in Japan. Flight aircraft are still rare and valuable. Eka got taken off YouTube. He started the second channel. Interesting. I exchanged my compensation for it, making it my personal belonging. I would say this was inevitable. Surprised? No. Do you know how many fucking age-restricted videos he had? I'm not surprised. I'm very much not surprised.
そうなのですか。
何をしても直せぬものならこちらが慣れるほかにない。見張られるのも慣れればなかなか便利なものだ。
There is YouTube Kids for a reason. Okay. Just because there's YouTube Kids doesn't mean you can post... There's age restriction for a reason. YouTube hates VNs. Aikman is not a visual novel guy. He's a copy pasta guy. She stops right there. A long silence ensues. All of them? You sure? Yeah, maybe for you, it's all of them, because the only visual novels you play are fucking lolly visual novels, lolly arage. And in my arms, Hachiroku closes her lips tightly and stays silent. Most VN YouTubers only have at most 5k. Okay, I'm not surprised, considering how shit visual novels are for audience retention. Right? That's why I'm doing the streams. Because I'm trying to provide more than just the content in the visual novel. Right? Because at the end of the day, you're not... most people aren't going to sit through an hour and a half video of someone playing through what is essentially just a storybook. Is essentially just a book with pictures. But the VN community is decently big, right? Look at Nekopara. I mean, yeah. But the only difference is that the visual novels that make it big are the ones that get adapted into anime, right? Steins Gate's huge, Fate's huge, Ekopara's kind of huge. That one's kind of an exception, right? The only reason Nekopara was big is because it was one of the first visual novels to pop off with animation, right? Cat girls, that too. Cat girls have always been kind of popular. Maitetsu. That's the difference, right? Nekopara is short. Maitetsu, long as fuck, right? Especially the second game. 94 hours? Most people aren't going to play through that game, right? Fate succeeded because it was adapted into an anime. No one's gonna play through the Fate visual novel unless you're really into Fate, right? Nekopara Volume 1 came out first. I told you that Nekopara Volume 1 succeeded because it's short, it has cat girls, and it's animation, right? Interesting. Maitetsu is pretty big too, I think. I mean, yeah, you can usually base it off of how many followers the Twitch category has, right? Maitetsu is pretty big. It's 22 followers, right? Supposedly, it should give me more. I should get more views on Maitetsu than Maitetsu Cupid, right? But you know, time will tell, I guess, because at the moment, Uta's Route is still my highest viewed videos. Just the first 6 episodes I released of Maitetsu Cupid. That's when I peaked. But yeah. It's the same with Steins Gate, right? Steins Gate is a long as fuck visual novel. People watched the anime first to get into Steins Gate. Fruits of Grisaia was adapted into anime. Mind you, not all of Fruits of Grisaia, well, not all of the Grisaia series was adapted, right? But you know, is it the first 2 games? Yeah, I think so. Or was the 3rd game also adapted? I don't know. I kind of stopped watching after the 2nd season. Grisaia was a visual novel first. That's not the point. The point is, the visual novel got popular enough that an anime was adapted, and in turn, it got more popular because people were able to digest the story easier through anime form than a visual novel. What aren't you getting at? What aren't you getting here? I don't understand here how DDLC is so popular. DDLC is so popular because of the 4th wall breaks. It is the perfect bait game. No VA, it's overrated. I don't know why you played DDLC in the first place. You don't like Western visual novels. Dan Salvato is not Japanese. I don't know if he's American or, you know, he's not Japanese, alright? He started off modding old like Mario games, right? So of course he used that experience to make a visual novel where... And plus, I was new to VNs at the time. It was Natsuki that brought me into it. Your only complaint is that it didn't have voice acting. That's not a good. And hate scenes. Okay, now you're. See, this is why you aren't a good. How do I say? Judge. For what is and isn't popular and when it comes to visual novels. Or why certain visual novels are more popular than others. Because your only experience with visual novels is, does it have a lolly in it? If so, I'm more interested in it. Does it have a hate scene with that lolly? Yes, I'm gonna play it. Does it have a lolly in it? No, I'm not gonna play it. That's why, have you played Steins Gate? Have you played Fate? Have you played the Grisaya series? No comment. See what I mean? Steins Gate visual novel got so popular because of the anime being fucking goated. This is why no one talks about Robotics Notes and Chaos Head, which are two other games from the same series as Steins Gate, right? Known as the semicolon series. Right, Chaos Head came out first, and then Steins Gate, then Robotics Note, and then so on and so after. No one talks about any of them except Steins Gate. Because Steins Gate anime was so fucking goated compared to Chaos Heads and Robotics Notes anime adaptations. I did watch a series on Grisaya before I got into it. I see. I didn't have a laptop at the time. Okay. The only exception I see in this situation is Princess of Angel. To an extent. Neko Power got popular because Catgirl's short animation, right? The rest of the series I talked about got popular because they had an anime adaptation. Princess of Angel, Happy Maher is popular, I think. Right. Alright, if you look up Princess of Angel on on Twitch, right? The category has 2.3k followers. Why? I'm not really sure. My speculation is because of Lost Paws. Right? He was a big Anituber back in the day, right? And he played Nekopara, Princess of Angel, Go-Go Nippon. There was another one that I can't that I keep blanking on. That was another like Tokyo-esque visual novel. Hang on. If I go through his old playlists, right? Yeah, Go-Go Nippon. And where is it? Tokyo School Life, that's what I was thinking of. Tokyo School Life. 208 followers. And Nippon. Okay. Nippon, my first trip to Japan has 340. Okay. Either way, there's like visual novels that got popular because of the because of the anime adaptation. Some got popular because of what the visual novel has in it, and some got popular because of the certain YouTuber who played it, right? There are other games, right? Which there are other visual novels, right? Like Sai no Uta or Karawa Shoujo, which don't quite fall under any of those categories, right? But they stand out because of subject matter, right? Thanks for the hydrate. And the stretch. But like, no one's gonna play through like the 100th visual novel where the main character, Hachiroku's the first route, right? Yeah, I think so. Like, no one's gonna play through the 100th or watch someone play through the 100th visual novel where a guy runs a bakery, right? There has to be something else that makes it more interesting. Like in Nekopara's case, where you got cat girls, plus the unique, like, animation. And of course, you can't forget the P button, where and the chest bounciness slider, right? You can't forget those. Those are iconic to Nekopara. No, it never been replicated in any other visual novel. But yeah. Look, all I'm saying is there's a reason Lost Paws gravitated towards meme reviews and reaction video and reacting to memes instead of sticking with visual novels, right? Damn, he kind of fell off. 80k in 2 days ago, he fell off. I do love visual novels. I mean, yeah. But let's just say it's not sustainable. I think they are underrated. I think they're too long. And that's the problem with most visual novels, right? Is that they're too long. And that's why books are kind of in the same vein when it comes to how many people consume it compared to, let's say, movies or games or TV shows, right? How easy is it to consume, right? In terms of books and visual novels, it's pretty hard, especially depending on the length, right? But what books have over visual novels is that because there's no visual element to it, right? And we already know when it comes to visual novels, most of it is anime art style, right? And we already know the stigma behind anime art style, especially because of how many visual novels have eroge elements to them, right? That part also doesn't help the reputation of visual novels. That's the other thing, right? The games that I listed off that got very popular, a lot of them don't have hate scenes, right? Of course, you've got Nekopara, Fruits of Grisaia, Princess of Angels. They've got hate scenes in them, but Steins Gate, I mean, there are a lot of degenerates out there. True, but there are also, but most of those degenerates aren't going to play through a 100-hour visual novel just to get to the hate scene, right? They would much rather just watch a 20-minute hentai or read through a 13-page doujin that gets straight into the sex scenes, right? That's the thing with degenerates, right? They don't want character development. They want horny. I prefer VNs for my hate scenes. I guess. I prefer playing through VNs for the story, alright? Except if it's a Nuki gear, right? If it's meant specifically, if it's made specifically for the hate scenes, of course, that's a different situation, right? I do like story too. Right. If you liked story that much, you'd play Steins Gate, alright? That's all I'm gonna say. Hate scenes are a big part of it for me. See, that's the thing though, right? You tolerate the story, right? But you're mainly there for the hate scenes. That's why you say you like the story, but if you like the story so much in visual novels, then why don't you play other visual novels that don't have hate scenes? Explain that. Right? Why haven't you played Steins Gate? Oh, hello, Jordan. I actually have thought about it. Why haven't you played through a visual novel that doesn't have hate scene? What about rewrite? Right. Because if you cared about the story so much, then the hate scene shouldn't matter as much as you think, as much as, you know, they usually do. And that's the problem with visual novels. Especially when it comes to people watching another person play through a visual novel. Let me this time try to talk about something else. Maybe I'll try to enjoy the anime game. I guess. Look, Jordan, all I'm gonna say is, when you came back, I thought the first thing you were gonna talk about is the Drake and Kendrick situation, but you know, that's kind of it's kind of been done and gone at this point. So yeah. IDK, there's something about getting attached to a character in anime and there being no hentai of them, like in Absolute Duo with Julie. I get that, okay, I do. Because I feel the same way about manhwa, right? That, you know, manhwa is not as popular as manga or anime, so of course there's not much hentai of the characters in manhwa. Speaking of that, yeah, pretty much everyone knows Drake's house got shot up, but I better not see a cloned Drake's coming out. Don't worry, Drake, AI, don't worry, Drake, Drake's new album is gonna be fire, alright? It's gonna be called AI Uprising, and it's just gonna be it's gonna be dead rappers. Never mind. I don't want to feel that way, so that's why I prefer hate scenes in a little more than story. I still really like story and VNs. I like the story to pass time with. Right. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say, right? I do. TLDR, you prefer hate scenes over story. Now that I think of it, I heard 10 years ago Kendrick Lamar was for sure cloned, and He was maybe a clone. Okay, well, when I saw side by side of Gucci Mane, it looks weird. Yeah. I mean, look. Cloning art rappers or artists or whatever. Do I believe it? No. It's all science fiction shit, right? It's like my preference is 60% hate scenes and 40% story. I see. Alright, anyway. Get back into the game. And in my arms, Hachidoku closes her lips tightly and stays silent. Maybe you'll clone after that stammer. A gusty sound rips past. I can't hear anything but the wind. Moments go by, but Hachiroku's muteness lingers. A single word, wrestles free, I guess. You understand what I'm trying to say? I understand what you're trying to say, but okay, give me the lore of this game. Alright. So essentially, how do I explain? I just started playing this game yesterday, right? So there's not much I know. Essentially, think of like a steampunk world, right? Where it's futuristic shit, but it's industrial revolution, aesthetic, right? You know how it is. Start with the protagonist trauma. Okay, I guess I could start with what happens at the start of the game. Alright, so at the start we meet this girl. Her name is Hachidoku. She is what you would call, she is what is known as a rail lord, which is essentially a lolly train girl. No, essentially she controls the train. Not kinda, yeah. She's kind of like the navigation system for the train, right? When it like you with trains, that you have to constantly communicate with other conductors, right? And so that you don't end up crashing into each other. So at the start of the game, she's communicating with another rail lord and finds out that the bridge they're about to cross has collapsed. So they have to stop the train hard. But the problem is, for knowing you guys, I'm thinking of a different train. No actual trains, alright? This visual novel is made by someone who is very passionate about trains, right? The problem is, we still haven't seen another train past the opening, right? So she's communicating with another rail lord. The bridge collapsed. They try to stop the train, but the problem is the train's going too fast. So they're kind of in a dilemma, right? They either stop the train hard and risk toppling over, derailing, right? Or they don't stop hard enough and they go into the river, right? So they make the split decision of stopping the train as hard as possible. They topple over, and the main guy was one of the passengers on that train. And he barely made it out alive, but his sister died. Supposedly. We've only heard we only know what he says, right? And he said that his sister died in that train accident. Anyway, fast forward however many years, and he comes back. So that whole game is a little Asian girl trying to stop a train. Well, she's more the navigation system for the train, right? She's not the one controlling it, and also the train she's not the brakes of the game. But that's just at the start, right? That was just more backstory for the main protagonist and the main heroine, right? These two guys. I guess it could be that she's hungry, right? Oh, right. Speaking of, it's more airplanes versus trains. Yeah, I guess. Speaking of, this girl is not human, right? How do I explain? Because she eats coal. Yeah, I guess. She's powered by steam, right? Instead of a stomach, she has a steam engine. So she has to drink water and eat coal. I become worried and decide just to watch her for a minute. In that time, I realized how imprudent it was for me to call her a doll before. And then there is these things called, can I ever see a normal game? This is a normal enough game. Look, Dexter funds me, so I can't play normal games. I played Hollow Knight for one stream, and then, you know, she blinks, sweats, and even appears to breathe. Hachiroku seems to embody all human mannerisms. It doesn't seem like she can't move. Maybe I should just leave her alone. When a person points out something that you wanted left alone, you tend to shy away from that person, or at least shut down a bit. That's true, be it with people or with things. Not stepping into where you are not welcome is just as important as the reverse. You're on Rose payroll. I mean, he literally gifted me the game, so I feel obliged to play it. Okay? The problem is that he's gifted me too many visual novels, and, you know, I'm not going to be able to get through all of them.
相鉄様、お伺いしてよろしいでしょうか。
構わん。
Perhaps having gotten bored with the silence, Hachiroku finally opens her mouth. The tone in her voice is strong. Also, I forgot to talk about this, but there is an entire glossary for this game, or terms that you may or may not know, not only for concepts in this game, but for real life shit, right? Like, a lot of train shit. There was brewery shit somewhere, right? Because one of the characters runs a brewery. The main guy's family runs a brewery. He was adopted by them, by the way, but they don't like talking about it. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because, where is it? This sympathetic connection. Right. This is essentially what essentially that is what raillords used to communicate with other raillords, right? They use the sympathetic communication system, whatever it is. That's kind of the biggest mystery I have at the moment. Apparently there's more questions I should be asking, but yeah. Anyway, the reason this game is like trains versus airplanes is because this company, I guess, developed this engine for planes known as aircraft, right? Aircraft without the FT or whatever, which has the same system. So then, trains kind of died out, and essentially, essentially what they said is ground-based transportation kind of died out, and then planes kind of took over because it became so affordable to buy these like aircraft things, right? Thanks for the hydrate. And the stretch. Perhaps getting bored with the silence, finally opens her mouth. The tone of her voice is strong.
私いささか今時のエアクラの便利さを侮ってしまっていたようです。
The blanket is over the hat again. Yeah, it's never going to be fixed.
そうか。
Navi is an exception among exceptions, but the more commonly sold land vehicles can do autopiloting and select the most optimal route. The convenience of aircraft is not to be underestimated.
鉄道が青い木と駅にまで追いやられたのも人間の選択を超えたある種必然かとさえ感じました。
ほう。
Acknowledging the inferiority of the railways would be an insult to her sisters. That's what Hachiroku said earlier, but now she's stating reality without mixing in any kind of self-ridicule.
けれど鉄道は青い木と駅でも生き延びています。ならばそこにも必然があると私は思うのです。
うん。
I nod, not only to Hachiroku's words, but to her attitude. Hachiroku is not looking to the past, but rather the future. She has greatly changed in that regard, and in such a short period of time at that.
ですのでエアクラのオーナーでもある相鉄様にぜひとも教えていただきたいのです。
何をだ？
エアクラにできないことを、彼女たちが苦手にしていることが何かということを。
よかろう。
Navi is also quiet. At first, it respected Hachiroku's silence. Now it feels as if it's respecting her will.
エアロクラフテック機関の心臓部はキルクイティウムという宝石状の化合物だ。
How do you pronounce that? Kilquitium? I mean, I'm probably not going to have to pronounce it for a while, but, you know, it'd be better to try to pronounce it now than when I have to. That's what I studied right away when I heard information about the factory. I tell Hachiroku of the fruits of my labor.
これに制御された地磁気と太陽光との影響が加わると回転運動が開始される。
その回転運動が例えばピストンなどを動かす動力となっているのですか？
極めて省略して考えればその通り。故にエアクラは非常なローコストによる運用が可能だ。
Kilquitium is not actually a word. I'm not surprised. I'm also surprised that they didn't have a glossary entry for it. Actually, I can check, can't I?
はい。太陽光と地磁気、ほぼ無尽蔵に得られそうな動力源ですものね。
Okay. Interesting. I nod. Hachiroku has it right. If there weren't consumable parts, the aerocraft tech engine could be considered a perpetual motion machine.
しかしキルクイティウムには弱点がある。それは共振崩壊という現象だ。
共振崩壊。共振して崩壊する。その共振と崩壊ですか？
I'm also surprised there wasn't a glossary entry for resonance.
ああ、キルクイティウム同士を近づけすぎるとその双方の回転が制御不能となり崩壊に至る。
でしたらキルクイティウムを集中しての運用は不可能ということになりますね。
Well, it's a train game, not about aircraft. Well, resonance isn't always about. When I think of resonance, right? I think of bridges, right? There is a thing called resonance frequency. Essentially, what happens is with bridges, a lot of people step on a bridge, right? And with a lot of people on a bridge, a lot of the times they step in sync, right? And because of that, it's hard for me to explain, but essentially it resonates this certain thing, frequency, I guess, and it leads to what basically ends up being a bridge's collapse, right? This is why when soldiers, right, you know how soldiers they are, they have to walk in step with each other, they sync up. When crossing a bridge, they have to intentionally walk out of sync as to not essentially destroy the bridge, right? There are a lot of videos, like back in the day, when this was not as well known, of bridges essentially, like you see videos of these bridges essentially just moving like they're made of putty, even though they're just solid concrete metal bridges. They're moving like they are the most flexible, elastic structures known to man because of resonant frequency, right? At worst, right, the bridge sways to ungodly amounts. At best, I mean, and at worst, it can lead to a bridge's collapse, right? That's kind of what's going on here, I think. But that's also why I think it should be important for the game to talk about it, I guess. I'm only saying that because of the bridge collapse at the start of the game. At the same time, that's probably not why the bridge collapsed, right?
だな。そしてキルクイティウムの製造コストは体積が2倍で2乗、3倍で3乗になると言われている。
I'm not that well versed in it, right? I watched the YouTube video. I'm essentially parodying from it. I watched it like 2 years ago, so it's not fresh in my mind what resonance frequency essentially is. Surely, someone will comment and correct me on the VOD, or when the main channel video eventually comes out.
2倍で自称。仮に100立方センチの化合物の製造コストが100円だとすると、
200のコストは1万円、300のコストは100万円になる。そしてある程度を超える大きさのものの製造は不可能だ。
Hachiroku nods deeply.
でしたら鉄道車両のように車体そのものが何十トンもあるようなものには。
その通り。エアロクラフテック機関は実装できない。また分割できない巨大物の運搬も増えてだ。
That's an interesting system. Essentially meaning that it works in smaller vehicles because it's cost efficient, but the bigger the scale, the more exponential the cost of the parts get, I guess. For example, hanging it from a bunch of aircraft vehicles, it's not impossible, but it can't pick up any significant speed. The resonance bridge thing. Did you Google it? Or are you just replying to yourself to correct? I wasn't misunderstanding what you meant when you said never heard of that. I don't care if you read it. No, I did. when transporting larger animals like orcas, I hear they still use vehicles with gas engines.
ということは、
She looks straight at me. Her gaze is powerful.
そのあたりのエアクラにできないことを、鉄道がうまく果たせることを世間一般に認めさせれば。
そうだな。共存も共栄も十分に可能だろう。実際エアクラ全交通機関が活躍している地域では。
相鉄様、警告です。当機は飛行回避空域に接近しているとのことです。
Uh-oh.
ん？
Navi interrupts our conversation, and for a brief moment, I don't understand.
なんだその回避区域というのは。
エアロクラフテック社が設定している飛行回避すべき空域です。
それはまあそうだろうが、回避すべき理由は？ Area 51.
明示されていません。
The Bermuda Triangle. Iraq. Never mind.
なぜだ？いや。
If it is a setting by the aerocraft tech company, normally Navi would automatically process things as top priority. There's no need for an explanation. There isn't even a question that can be answered.
お前の場合はエアクラ社の設定より僕の命令の方が優先順位において勝るのだな。
当然のことです。そしてそれより優先すべき相鉄様のお命を守るを果たすため不時着します。
は？不時着？
なるほど。これは僕のミスだ。
What I should have done was not ask why, and instead give the order to avoid the area. Without that, Navi would just follow my original command of as long as there is no danger to my life.
いえ、大丈夫なのですか？どんどんと高度が落ちているようですが。
I mean, that is what planes do. They do lower in altitude.
大丈夫だ、86。僕の命を安全に保つための不時着であるのだから。
相鉄様のおっしゃる通りです。本機の機関推力は安全な不時着のため、まだ大幅な余力を残しています。
余力を残す？
This is the first time I've heard that from Navi. Power reserve. That's a term I've never thought would have anything to do with aircraft engines.
当機は磁場以上に巻き込まれています。機関、このまま進めば停止が予想されます。
And that explains why it's a no-fly zone.
磁場以上？
I now remember when I was going to the Jutsusen coal mine ruins with an aircraft. I was following Hibiki's voice.
なるほどな。
In regions where magnetic fields aren't stable, the aircraft engine doesn't work. That's why Hibiki stopped me from going with an aircraft. This railway must still be operational.
何事にも理由があるものだな。
相鉄様、何をのんきな。
I mean, you know, it's not that scary. The plane flies in a gentle curve as it descends. Soon, a silver light can be seen on the ground.
不時着って、まさか。
線路上か。
Uh-oh. The forest rustles. It's as if the trees parted and made a runway for us. Because there's no water nearby. This must have been the safest choice.
ダメダメダメダメ、やめてやめてやめてやめて。
Jesus Christ, man. Why the fuck did it happen now? This is fucking bullshit. What did you say again?
ダメダメダメダメ、やめてやめてやめてやめて。当面削れて枕木板にバラスト砕けてしまいます。
不時着します。念のため、対衝撃姿勢をお取りください。
だそうだ、86。
そうです様。
I held Hachiroku close to me to cover her.
ナビ、可能か？僕らの安全とレールの状態を共に守ることが。
ご命令がなくとも、相鉄様。
Okay. Fuck you, Navi. We float up briefly. The airplane lifts, and I feel a momentary weightlessness. And then we land. The float managed to slide us onto the tracks before coming to a stop.
当機の機体重量では、レールを傷めろという方が、より困難なご命令ですので。
だそうだ。どうだ、86。
はい。失礼します、相鉄様。
She pulls herself away from my grasp and climbs down over the side to the tracks. Lets out a sigh of relief and possibly of admiration.
本当、素晴らしいですね。ここまでとここから先と、レールの状態に観測できる差異はほとんどありません。
ならば、なぜそのように表情が冴えぬのだ？
いえ。
Aturoku glances around as if looking for something.
この辺りはさらに保線が悪いなぁと。あの木など線路にかかってしまいそうです。
Aturoku points ahead. There is quite a large tree in the way of the tracks. But we should check our own conditions. If we can't even take care of ourselves, there's no point in caring about the tracks.
まずは移動が最優先だな。このままでは僕らこそが線路障害だ。よっと。
持ち上げ、相鉄様お一人で。
言ったろ。エアクラは重量に弱い。故に機体もギリギリ軽く作られるのだ。
期間15秒後に停止します。セーフモードに移行します。
Navi goes silent, but this doesn't change the weight of it. I move the vehicle off the tracks. Now to think about where to go.
一旦は戻るべきか。飛行可能な区域に出てナビを再起動。そこから迂回で。
いいえ、相鉄様。その必要はございません。
ほう。
Hachiroku points at vast strawberry with low trees. The vast strawberry with low trees? I don't know. It is far from the tracks. I suppose we can set down the plane over there. Alright.
なぜだ？なぜ戻らずに済む？
この路線の列車のレールロードが規則に忠実な子であるからです、相鉄様。
レールロード。教官か。
He nods proudly.
とても立派です。きちんと観光しています。
観光。
出発信号機を確認しての出発進行。速度制限を確認しての制限50。
Did you need a glossary entry for speed limit? I never would have guessed. You don't look, bro. You don't even need to drive a car to know what a speed limit is. So that's what verbal checks are. I could see it all clearly in my head thanks to Hachiroku's explanation.
そうしたすべてをいちいち怠らずに行っています。やけにゆったりとした観光ではありますが、立派です。
なるほどな。
Then, if we wait here, the train will eventually come. Well, I feel a little relieved. A question comes up, or while I feel a little relieved.
しかし、何故立派なのだ？その観光を行うことは規則であるのだろ
う？私の現役最後の時代、旧蹄鉄では、それが守られなくなっていたからです。
Damn, that's crazy. Hachiroku explains quietly. The purpose of verbal checks was to predict dangers and to prevent accidents. But with the reduction of trains, those rules were gradually ignored, then ultimately phased out.
この路線は単線であり、にもかかわらず、対比線が死んでいます。
なあ、さっきから何度も言っていたな。その対比線とやらいう言葉を。
あら、相鉄様、お分かりになっていらっしゃらなかったんですか？
Hachiroku continues on. A single track is a line used for trains going in both directions. The side track, however, is another set of tracks placed at a station for single track trains to cross.
ならば、対比線が死ぬに至るまで使われない理由は、列車の行き違いが全く発生しないからとなるか。
はい。そしてそのような状況下では、観光の重要性は薄れたように感じるものもあるのです。
だろうな。
Disappointment leads to laziness. Laziness leads to lack of preparation, which in turn leads to accidents. There's a negative spiral in which the decline of something accelerates upon itself.
規則とは、そうした状況下でこそ厳守すべきもの。それを知るこの路線のレールロードは立派です。
なるほど。おかげで納得できた。会いたいものだな。そのレールロードと運転手とに。
After I say that, Hachiroku gives a bright smile.
間もなくですよ、相鉄様。教官、向こうも受信してくれました。
そうか。なんと？
非常停止し拾ってくださるとのことです。レールロードがいることに大変驚いてらっしゃいます。
救助してくれるのはありがたい。おっと、八六、僕の身なりは乱れていないか？
いささかも、相鉄様、大変に紳士的でいらっしゃいます。
Hachiroku goes on to play with her bangs. She glances my way as if she wants to say she wants something.
お前も凛としているぞ、八六。これなら失礼には当たるまい。うん。
はい。相鉄様もお気づきになられましたか
Hachiroku sounds happy and proud at the same time. Start to feel the train's vibrations. Rattle, rattle. Yes, I remember this. Out of a train.
相鉄様、お寒いのですか？
You know, the trauma's coming back.
なあ、いや、寒くはない。少し興奮したかな。
武者震いですか？光栄ですね。
When I hear the sounds of the train, it reminds me of that moment. A blinding kind of homesickness and a grasping sense of fear. I'm so pitiful, even though I know that it was in my head. My body can't understand that the accident is in the past. I'm now the owner of a rail lord and have a responsibility. Having this fear of the railways will make it impossible for me to do my job. I simply need to force my feeble mind, get used to it. There's no other way to ride the trains until I become desensitized.
来ます。これは気動車。可愛らしいディーゼル気動車ですね。
Bro, the way Hachiroku describes trains is the exact same way train fanatics would describe them. This is just... Hachiroku is is the main guy is the main dev's self-insert. Never mind. It's round. It's my first impression of it. That's my first impression of it. It's round and indeed adorable. The car has a front that's painted beige and deep red, making the round form look more like a toy than anything really.
非常停止よし。要救助者を確認。前よし。後ろよし。足元よし。ポーレット、降りて大丈夫ですよ。ありがとうレイナ。一緒に来てくれる？はーい、ポーレット。レイナ、ご一緒しますね。
Jesus Christ, look how tiny these railroads are, man. Like, holy shit, she looks... Is she shorter than Hachiroku? The side door opens. A golden light shines from within. Thoughts about Reina's voice acting? He reminds me of someone. Hang on.
Hi, ポーレット。レイナ、ご一緒しますね。
I'll look for you. Thanks. The side door opens, the golden light shines from within. Listen, the golden light, that's probably just Paulette's hair.
綺麗。外国の方でしょうか？
Probably. Golden strands of hair like falling rain. Pale white skin and deep dark blue eyes.
まさか。
わー、すごいです。
She's Kyo from Irasekai. There it is. A voice cuts through the sudden tension, but our consciousness attracts each other. Glory and Sugar Sweet Temptation. But listen, I haven't played Sugar Sweet Temptation in a while. I forgot how they sound. Except Chocolat, I only remember how she sound. Her golden hair and blue eyes. It might just be a coincidence, but I can't help but see her a little bit in this Paulette. What? It reminds me of the girl from that summer long ago. The girl who saved me. The girl who taught me something important. She was kind-hearted.
レイナよりお姉さんのレールロード初めて見ました。
This railroad that calls herself Reina has a very relaxed way of talking. Go into her. Hachiroku bends her upper body gracefully.
はじめまして、レイナさん。私、レールロード86と申します。
Thank God Reina's name is easy to pronounce than Hachiroku.
会えて嬉しいです。86さん。
She leans slowly into a bow. Despite her clumsiness, I sense Reina is hardworking.
レイナ、キハ0 7 S 専用レールロードのレイナです。ふるさとは片上鉱山鉄道ですよ。鉱山鉄道？それでは貨物を？はーい。レイナ、こう見えても力持ちなんですよ。
Hachiroku or Reina? I already answered that question last stream.
まあ、
Hachiroku and Reina draw closer to one another with each word they exchange. In contrast, the rest of us are... It shouldn't. I shouldn't be acting like an idiot here. First, we have to fill Hachiroku's stomach. I gotta do my best to make that happen.
停車いただき感謝します。同時に、それを強いてしまったことを、心よりお詫び申し上げます。
As if she just came to her senses, Hachiroku closes her mouth and runs to my side. Me, they're very close. Well, now you hear her voice. Yes, I do. She bows deeply to both Rana and the engineer.
ご紹介が遅れました。こちら、私のオーナー、右田宗哲様です。
Whose voice do you like better? Hachiroku's. I don't know proper etiquette, but I might as well go with the flow.
遅ればせながら、はじめまして。この86のオーナーの右田宗哲と申します。
Which is cuter? Rana, I guess.
右田宗哲。宗哲。宗哲さん。
Fuck.
こんにちは。レイナも紹介しますね。
Best girl so far ranked. First place is Hachiroku, second place is the MILF, third place is the sister, fourth place is, I don't know.
右田宗哲。宗哲さん。
I'm surprised the MILF isn't first. Because I haven't got enough of her. Said Raina is last. I didn't say Raina was last, I just said that there's no fourth place. Hachiroku's footsteps sound like trotting. Raina's footsteps sound like flapping. Exactly, so last. You realize there's also Paulette, right? Not only does she speak slowly, her movements are relaxed too.
レイナのマスターのポーレットです。ポーレットは機内ポーレットなんですよ。
Said Paulette was above Raina. I said that I listed 3 characters out of 5 because there is no 4th and 5th place. Hinai. Having heard that name before, I quickly make the connection. Navi said it while in the air earlier.
機内ポーレットというと、お人よし町。
He twitches. Paulette Hinai slouches down.
すみません、驚いてしまって。私のことご存知だなんて思わなくって。
いえ、こちらこそ。突然スイカのような真似。失礼しました。
そんな驚くようなことじゃないのに、私が少し驚きすぎてしまっただけです。
That's for sure. Of course. I would never say that out loud. Nor can I give off that vibe. Wait, where did you rank Hibiki again? 3rd. A public figure like the mayor didn't think someone would recognize her. Under normal circumstances, what she said is completely odd. Yeah, but like... Okay, maybe it depends on the size of the town, because like if it's a small town, of course you're going to recognize the mayor. If it's a big town, probably don't even remember the name of the mayor. Or their face. I'm at a loss for words. Because I already apologized for putting her on the spot, I can't really ask her what she's doing here. What's the best voice acting so far in your opinion? Hibiki, because she's Chocola. She stays silent while blushing from ear to ear. It's as if she's trying to probe me for something with her quick glances to win away from me. Almost feels like a blind date. This isn't like me. 10 more seconds. If it's still awkward like this by then, I'll take the risk of being rude and just act.
レイナ、少しだけ不思議なんですけど。
Not sure if her joining the conversation is a good thing or not. She tilts her head to the side quizzically. Hachiroku returns a warm gaze, if relieved.
何ですか、レイナさん。相鉄さんは86さんのオーナー？どうしてマスターじゃないのですか？
I mean, you know, which title sounds better?
それは。
Now it's Hachiroku's turn. She glances to the side, to and away from me, looking for help.
いずれ必ず相鉄様はきっと私のマスターに。でも今は少しだけ事情があって。事情って何ですか？
Well, first of all, she's kind of hungry. She still needs to eat some coal. Second of all, he doesn't know jack shit about trains. Yeah. I want to be like Hachiroku. Let me eat some coal. Okay.
レイナ。
Held up by Paulette, Rena gives off a happy cry. An innocent puppy and a kind master. Paulette scolds Rena in the same way.
今はこんな時代でしょ？だからマイテツにもそれぞれきっといろいろな事情があるの。
She said it. She said the name of she said the title of the game. Maitetsu. What the fuck is Maitetsu compared to a railroad?
個人で鉄道車両を所有するようになった鉄道ファンさんがマイテツさんです。大廃線以降の中小の鉄道会社はマイテツさんたちとの二人三脚でかろうじて経営を成り立たせているところがほとんどです。線路と駅の維持管理を鉄道会社が行い、車両及びレールロードの維持管理はマイテツに任せてしまう。大胆な発想ですが、非常に有効に働いているようですね。その発想を思いついた方が毛利の秋様、電車姫様です。そうか。
Okay, I get it. Hello, Meow. Kato trying to wake up and not pass out, but the very best of wishes. As always, you stranger. Replay that voice line. Which part? This one?
今はこんな時代でしょ？だからマイテツにもそれぞれきっといろいろな事情があるの。
Oh, you mean Raina's. That one. Thanks for the hydrate. Meow. And the stretch. Maitetsu? What's Maitetsu? Maitetsu is the name of the game. Our gazes lock. It's a word that even Hachiroku doesn't know. I could tell from her trying to ask me.
それは踏み込んで聞いてはいけないことなの。知りたくても向こうから話してくれるまで我慢ね。
She nods slowly. Raina takes her time to nod in return.
はーい。レイナ、事情はレイナから聞いちゃダメって覚えました。
Raina and Hachiroku are always neck and neck for number one for me. I'm not surprised.
ナはいい子ね。へへへ、レイナ、褒めてもらっちゃいました。
She embraces, corrects, and then pats. That's a good way to teach. Some questions are better left unanswered.
すみません、ポーレット市長。
市長は少し庁舎の外だと恥ずかしいです。もしよければポーレットってそれだけで。
She doesn't like formalities. It seems, then I'll be blunt.
なら、ポーレット。すまんが、一つ教えてほしい。
I pressed 4 instead of enter, which is my hat toggle. So the reason it disappeared is because, yeah. You prefer pink, black, or red hair? I prefer black hair. There's actually one more thing I'd like to ask. But let me throw at her a question that needs to be solved right away.
はい、相鉄さん。私にお返事できることなら何でも聞いてください。
Black or blonde? Black. Upon hearing Paulette's answer, Hachiroku looks at me with high hopes. Black or silver? Black. Black or brown? Now that's a hard question. So let me ask.
その、マイテツとは、一体なんだ？
Brown. Dude, that's a Maitetsu. Brown or purple? Brown.
お客様にお知らせします。お急ぎのところ、非常停止へのご協力をありがとうございました。
Brown or dirty blonde? I think you should know my answer by now. Why are you asking for my preference in hair color? Yes. But let's don the appropriate attire and change the window. Next VN. No. Next VN is Master Magistrate. And you're not getting out of that one, alright? I still remember when you gifted me fucking Clover Days, and I still haven't gotten around to playing it, even though you gifted it to me on the day it released. Alright? That's usually the indicator for games that I'm playing, that I'm going to play. Right? Amazing Grace was the same. Urasekai was the same. Right? But play Clover Days then. Here's the thing. Alright. After Maitetsu is Master Magistrate, and then after Master Magistrate is probably either 9-9 or Nekopara Volume 4. After Amazing Grace, which I get the feeling that I might finish Amazing Grace before Master Magistrate because of how long Maitetsu is, right? So after Amazing Grace, you could gift me Autori, I guess. And then I'll actually let me check. Right? Or when it's on sale. Okay, yeah, preferably when it's on sale, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. Autori. Which? Yeah, I didn't think so. It'll have to be recorded. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, this is how it works. I will have to record our Tori. So, the next time it goes on sale, I'll start recording our Tori, right? Because now that I've finished Love Sweet Garnish, I won't have any visual novel other than I'll only have Irosekai to record, right? So it frees up some time. Right? And well, tomorrow's episode of Irosekai is going to be the end of Mio's route, probably. So then, you know, it'll have. Let me think, because okay, I need to check something. Mio's route has spanned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes, right? I gifted you MML, right? I don't think so. Thank you. So, if every route is essentially 7 episodes, it'll be it'll be Kyo's route in between episodes of Deco Power Volume 3, because Volume 3 has 7 episodes, right? Also, yeah, the last episode of Love Sweet Garnish is almost 2 hours, because, you know, I knew that the ending was close because it was the school festival, right? And then, of course, after the school festival is the same Christmas scene. But yeah, anyway. Do you need another short VN? No. Because I'll have recordings of... Here's the thing, right? I have 1 episode of Maitetsu. I need more recordings of Maitetsu because, of course, after Volume 3 will be Maitetsu. So I have 2 weeks to create a backlog of them before, you know. So I need to stop stalling and just play the fucking game, right? So let's just get into it, okay? Stop distracting me. Wait, what do you mean? 2 weeks before what? 2 weeks before I start uploading Maitetsu. Because tomorrow is... tomorrow is Mio's final episode, right? And then Monday... Actually, no. I have 2 weeks plus 4 days, because... I thought you were referring to your trip. No. I'm not referring to my trip. I have 7 episodes of Nekopara backlogged, right? So then I'll have 7 episodes of Kyo, of the Kyo route, and Nekopara before I have to start uploading Maitetsu videos, right? So I need to create a backlog of Maitetsu videos, which is why you need to stop distracting me and let me just get it, and I need to get into the game. So let's just jump into it, shall we? Yeah.
お客様にお知らせします。お急ぎのところ、非常停止へのご協力をありがとうございました。
Thanks for the hydrate. And the stretch. Paulette makes an announcement to the passengers on the train. It sounds completely different from when she was talking to me. A clear and dignified voice.
ただいま、要救助機の回復を確認しました。要救助者を収容し、この列車は間もなく発車いたします。
After the announcement, he bows slightly. Paulette quickly heads to the engineer room at the front of the train. Brenna waits for her to be seated and then calls out. Do not need a glossary entry for calls out. Why is it so
解雇
long?
は指差しとセットで行う安全確認、ミス防止のために推奨される行動です。
Bro, I think we know what safety checks are, okay?
出発進行
No, that's not a safety check. Plunk. With a light vibration, the train begins to move and is filled with murmurs from the crowd. They're mostly students here. That means there's a demand for this train for their commute. Train is returning to Ohitoyo. Train has a glossary entry.
列車という
Of
言
course
葉
it
には
does.
大きく
I'm never gonna get over that. They're likely pretty carefree right now, due to being on their way home. The students are all having a worry-free chit-chat.
要求助者ってあん人ちょっとかっこよくない
If it wasn't for the school uniform, I would have thought she looked 28.
マイ鉄の人かな。レールロードと一緒だし。
じゃったら市長さんのお知り合いかね
と違うかね。あ、ねえねえ、匂うとらんあん二人。
お似合い似合うとる付き合うとるんかなほんなら市長さんスキャンダルじゃねえ
Interesting. What the fuck is Body Slant 61 does not exist. It crashed the game. Uh-oh. That was quick. Yeah. You just talked about crashes too, you fuckhead. You fuck. You jinxed it. How am I gonna get through this part? Because the only way I was able to avoid the crashes in Maitetsu Cupid was to skip the sections, right? So what I'll need to do is to skip unread text. That wasn't where it happened for me. No, I have to, alright? Because if I don't, it might do the same
お
thing
客
again.
様にお知らせしますお急ぎのとこ
So, I need a... Okay, there it is. Now I need to remember where it was. It was this one. Right? I made it back. So it was this line here.
お似合い似合うとる付き合うとるんかなほんなら市長さんスキャンダルじゃねえ
So if I jump back here... I skipped... I did it, bros. I skipped the crash. And that's literally what I have to do anytime something pops up. I don't know why it did that. I should have taken a screenshot to show you what the error message was, but yeah. How loud and annoying. I'm sure they think they're whispering under their breaths, but I can hear everything. I think she can hear everything too. Yeah, I got an error message too. Yeah. Body slant 61 or whatever. Whatever that means. I guess it's a model or something. Or an animation. Even though there weren't any missing animations, I think. I don't know. Seems like it reached all the way to Paulette in the driver's stand. I could see her neck exposed from her uniform. It turned bright red.
ポーレット信号ですよあ 注意源氏よし、制限40よし。注意源氏よし、制限40よしです。
I see. This is the actual verbal check. Ren and Paulette both point and verbally confirm it with each other. They both double check the signals and and signs that I can't read. So despite looking like that, they're professionals. Her blushing neck soon returns to her usual pale white color. What does their appearance have to do with how professional they are? Her every movement has no hesitation. Paulette seems more like an accurate machine than Reina. I mean, she is the one controlling the train, so she kinda has to be. Hachiroku has been silent the whole time. It has been this way since she got on the train. She keeps her mouth closed and her eyes continue to watch. Could it be that she doesn't want to interfere with the operation? My aircraft is towed between the train until we leave the no-flight area. This object of mine, as the effect of the area might still have influence, it would require even more focus than usual. I should follow Hachiroku's example. I'll save the questions for later, and just look around for now.
木下廃駅通過よしです。通過950秒円。レイナ？大丈夫、ポーレット。車両は完全に正常ですよ。了解。制限解除。よし。制限解除。よしです。
Bull.
Oh.
Why was that a sound effect? The scenery begins to pass by faster, but I don't feel much of a shock. What do you mean by that? According to Hachiroku, the tracks are in a terrible state, so the passengers should be feeling the brunt of the shock. Railroads have similar features to Navi. Could the train operation be more automatic too? Right when I think that, Reina stretches. Okay, the fact that she can experience stiffness, like, the only difference between a railroad and an actual and a human is their stomach, I guess.
ポーレット、すみません。あとは任せて。
Because they feel hunger, they get tired, they can experience muscle soreness, I guess.
はーい。着駅までには復帰しますよ。
She is so small. Jesus Christ, man. She drops down lifelessly. Rena's body comfortably lies down on Paulette's lap where she's sitting. It sure does look like she's sleeping, and it seems that Paulette caught her. But from the seriousness of Hachiroku's voice, I can tell that this is an abnormal situation.
肥後北村半駅通過。制限解除。よし。
When getting closer to the closed station, the train slows. After passing through, it speeds up again. I mean, okay, here's the thing, right? The thing is that when it comes to operating these big fuck off transportation vehicles, I guess, you need multiple people to essentially operate it, right? With planes, you've got a pilot and you've got a co-pilot. With boats, you've got you've got an entire crew there. But I forgot what they're called. I think this is the helmsman. But you have multiple people, right? A train is similar. Even in this case, you've got the engineer and the rail lord. Now the rail lord's sleeping, but now the only person actually kind of doing the checks is the one controlling the train. And look, all I'm saying is that just because they're on a track doesn't mean the engineer is not doing nothing. All right, just because they're on a track doesn't mean the person who's controlling the train isn't doing nothing. All right, like I get it with a plane or a boat / cruise, right? Yeah. Oh, right. So this is the movement of a true veteran. Without faltering, without hesitation. And because of that, everything is done in the most efficient and beautiful way.
大したものだな。
さようですね、相鉄様。全くもって大したものです。
うん。
Her tone hints at sarcasm, instead of a genuine compliment. Hachiroku's angry in a very quiet way. Right now, she's trying not to interfere with the operation of the train, and is simply trying to control herself.
なあ、86。さっきポーレットが言っていたな。時代が時代、マイテツそれぞれに事情があると。
She says under her breath. It's as if she noticed something, or came back to her senses.
一体、マイテツとは何であろうな。
さあ、何でしょう。私には見当もつきません。
The hostility is gone from Hachiroku's voice. Or perhaps she managed to suppress it and hide it.
私としてはそうしたことごとを相鉄様にぜひお尋ねいただきたく思います。
うん。ならばそうしよ
う。Hachiroku understands and leaves it to me. In that case, I will try to definitely manage Hachiroku's anger too. Naturally, I wouldn't want to see a crash. Those white pixels bottom left. What do you mean? I think I see what you're talking about. Hang on, what are they? I think I know what it is. Fuck. It's because from here to here is where I skipped. Right? So it's marked where I skipped. And then, you know, the rest of it, yeah. So I guess it's a good indication. Okay, no, that's a really good, right? Kinda. I don't see the point of it in a game like Maitetsu. right? Because every route has a different menu option for it. For, say, like, Maitetsu Cupid, right? Where choosing like a character's route will lead to unique dialogue in the common route, right? In Rinka's route, or, well, Isuzu's route, there was unique dialogue that I possibly skipped over because I forgot to unselect this function, right? In Maitetsu Cupid. This game doesn't really have that issue, right? Because, well, maybe it does, right? Where if you pick an option, actually no, you said that the opening shows up in the first choice, right? So then the first choice will indicate which route you choose. So yeah, this game doesn't really have that issue. Like in Maitetsu Cupid. Yeah. We arrive at the Ohitoyo onsen station. Onsen station. After doing the ticketing duties, I call out to Paulette, saying I'd like to have a word with her. Paulette then tells something to Reina and quickly walks over to me. Also make sure to savor the choice. Of course I'm going to savor the choice.
こちらです。お話、私もしたいですし。
駅の事務室などでも構わんが。
できればですけど、レールショップを見てほしいなって。
うん。ではそこで。
Why? She has good taste. That's what I think at the moment. I think the moment I step in. It goes without saying that her tastes are for railways. Presentation is stylish.
可愛らしい。おもちゃ屋さんのようですね。
Well put. There is a sense of unity and the messiness of a toy box. Right. Countless railway items aren't too in order, yet not too disorganized. I'm drawn to them, even though I have no interest in railways. It is, an organized mess, to say the least.
これはポーレットの趣味か？
I forgot what the actual term was, but essentially it's an oxymoron. Everything looks unorganized, but there is a certain something. Wait, he doesn't have any interest in railways after accepting Hachidoku. Well, you know, he has more interest in lollies than railways. A gentle nod. Paulette gives a floaty smile.
私とレイナとの2人のです。お人よ鉄道レールショップは私たちのお城ですから。
二人の城か。
A toy castle that's about to be crushed by reality, with two sister princesses desperately trying to defend it. It's an imagined picture I never thought I would come up with. It must be caused by Paulette's exotic princess-like beauty.
もう一人の上司は置いてきてしまってよかったのか？
就業後検査と私たちは呼んでるんですが、それを交番検査ができないので都度で細かくやってるんです。
交番検査？
はい、交番検査っていうのはですね。
The alternating examination is? What does the glossary say?
交番検査は鉄道事業者が行うべき定期検査の一つです。旧帝鉄、帝王機関区所属の蒸気機関車は必ず30日に一度の 交番検査を受けることを義務付けられていました。
具体的には機関の付属部品、走り装置、ブレーキ装置、電気回り、車体、車内設備全般、それから連結機の状態と作動等を検査します。
Yeah, that's to be expected. This shit's kind of the same for like any. Well, back to my example of how most big fuck off vehicles that transport multiple people need more than one person manning the ship, manning the vehicle. Yeah. This shit needs to happen too, where you do checks for essentially everything, right? If you don't know, Boeing has gone under a lot of fire recently because they haven't been doing these checks, and it has led to a lot of issues. So yeah, the alternating examination is very important. Hang on. There you go. Paulette stops talking, but keeps her mouth open in a dumbfounded way. She turns to Hachiroku. Hachiroku sees that and, with a smug face, nods back slowly in agreement.
それなら私から説明させてもらいます。交代して順番にするのが交番検査です。
Okay, I was not expecting the tie to have animation. I was gonna say physics, but that's not really the case, right? It's a CG that with some animation to it. It's kind of like live 2D, right? During normal operation, a maintenance inspection is done once every 2 days, while there is an alternating examination done once every 30 days when taking off operation. The maintenance inspection.
始業検査は毎日の営業運転を始める前に駆動車両の状態を検査してあげて、それで消耗しちゃった部品とか足りなくなった消耗品とかがあったら、それを交換したり補充したりしてあげることなんですよ。
具体的には機関と機関の付属部品、動力伝達装置、走り装置、ブレーキ装置、連結機、それに偽装類などを分解することなしに行う検査になりますね。
蹄鉄ではほぼ同じ内容の検査を機関車に対して施すときには作業検査、客車及び貨車に対して施すときには始発検査とそれぞれ呼んで、作業の混乱が発生しないよう工夫されておりました。
The voice actors had a lot of voice. Yeah, they had tons of lines, and more than just a regular 36-hour visual novel standard of voicing. I hope they got paid generously. I hope they did too. But then again, voice actors don't get paid that much, unfortunately. For examinations done without being sent to the factory, these two are usually more than enough.
けど、うちは今、キハ 07S の1編成しか稼働車両がなくて、交番ができないんです。
Formation? There was only one passenger car for the entire train. I guess there's the phrase single car trains for these situations, but even with one passenger car, I suppose it can be called a formation. I'm sure they got at least a little more than normal, right? You hope.
交番ができない上に、うちのキハ07には 少し足回り不安があるので就業後検査をしてるんです。
足回り不安。
Hachiroku mumbles. Hachiroku mutters that to herself in a way that carries a lot of weight. But here's the thing, right? After playing Genshin, right, and you see, and you have all these characters with multiple different lines of, like, if you go into the voice section, right, like, you've got all of those voice lines, right? You know, that's the standard. And then they have to be called in every time there's a new event, right? And that's for 4 different languages too. So like, the amount of work the voice actors have to do whenever a new event comes up, right? Well, the relevant voice actors. Can they refuse? What do you mean, can they refuse? There are many things I want to ask Paulette, but let's start there.
その足回り不安がレイナに余計な負荷をかけているのか。
He's taken aback by the question. Her expression begins to lighten up, turning into extreme joy.
やっぱり相鉄くん、相鉄さんも前鉄なんですね。そこまで分かっちゃうなんて。
Sure.
いや、今のところ僕は単なる素人だ。その前鉄が何かわからぬ程度のな。
Well, no, you do know what a Maitetsu is, because you've got the glossary entry right here to tell you what a
個人で
Maitetsu
自動車両
is.
を所有するようになった鉄道
I'm not gonna read it, but, you know.
そのことは聞かれてましたね。お返事遅くなっちゃってごめんなさい。
いや、列車の遅れを回復するのが最優先なのは当然だろう。
はい。で、そこまで詳しく分かってくれて。
She looks at me questioningly. I should clear up the misunderstanding. Also, I like that her hair is behind her eyes. I know this is like an anime thing, right? Where you've got the hair behind the eyes, right? Well, I guess you've got the eyebrows and then the eyelashes, right? I don't know why, but I guess, you know, they want to show the expressions, so they have to kind of tiptoe around the fact that you need to make sure that you don't hide the eyebrows. But yeah.
86が僕の鉄道知識の源なのだ。先ほどの足回り不安云々も86がな。
ああ、そういうことだったんですか。
Paulette looks at Hachiroku again. Hachiroku maintains her smug look and leaves everything to me.
どう見てもマスターにしか見えませんけど。
She mumbles to herself. Paulette then decides to go in order to answer each of my questions.
大廃線以降の鉄道衰退についてはご存知ですよね。
一般常識レベルのことは。
それで十分です。エアクラの台頭、大廃線、蹄鉄までもが解体され、鉄道は衰退の一途をたどります。
Paulette is talking like a teacher. It's clear and easy to understand. It was the same with Hachiroku. Why do people who like railways love who like railways love explaining these things? Because they want to get more people into liking railways. Alright? That's why someone made a whole fucking visual novel about how much they love trains.
なぜなら、事業としての鉄道の成功には、スケールメリットが ほぼ必須だからです。
The development of land taking advantage of the railway sites, the hotel business, travel business, department stores at the terminal stations. Are trains being phased out nowadays? No, especially not in Japan. Like even in China, they're releasing like hydrogen powered trains. You know, for how do I say, green energy or whatever. I meant for passengers. Okay, maybe, right? Trains might be dying out outside of like Asian countries, but this is a Japanese game, right? And let's just say that I don't think they're gonna die out anytime soon, especially because of how convenient trains are, especially in like Tokyo area. Yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna die out there. But like in the West, maybe, kinda. Subways, trains. No, subways are the places you go to get onto a train. Did I read that? I got distracted. No, I did. Development of land taking advantage of the railway. I mean, yeah, you kind of see this in real life too, where a lot of business can be seen being built around train stations, right? Like you go to Japan, there's a lot of hotels, travel business stores, right, near and around the train station. And unfortunately, they're also the most expensive hotels because you're paying for the convenience. Unless there are secondary profits like that, the railways cannot survive. He was a sigh over it.
しかし、旅客も運賃を支払うだろう。それで経営が成り立たんのか。
I don't have any subways in Pennsylvania. At least none that I know. Well, do you know everything about Pennsylvania? Do you know about the priest who spent 40,000 on Candy Crush in Pennsylvania?
鉄という漢字はとても鉄道事業をよく表しています。
What did you say? Oh, do I have a story for you? Okay, hang on. Here it is. It's, yeah, I saw a video on it, but let me just show the let me show the class. What the fuck's going on in Pennsylvania? Catholic priest stole 40K of church money to play Candy Crush slot machine games, police say. South Coventry, Pennsylvania. A Catholic priest in Pennsylvania is accused of stealing more than 40,000 from the church to play Candy Crush and slot games, according to authorities. Pennsylvania State Police said Lawrence Kozak spent those alleged funds on Wizard of Oz slots, Candy Crush Saga, Catch Frenzy, Mario Kart Tour, and Pokemon Go. Why a priest? Because priests can make a lot of money. But here's the thing, right? When he got caught, I wonder if it says. I don't think it says. The guy's like, "Oh, I accidentally used the church card to buy whatever the fuck." Paulette puts out a riddle in front of me with a frown, but I have no idea what she means. Completely confused, I turn to Hachiroku, and she whispers out the answer to me.
相鉄様、鉄の字を辺と作りとに分けてみてください。
Hang on. The kanji character for iron in railway signifies the railway business very well. I mean, is she saying because? Okay, hang on. Let me see the kanji for iron. Kanji. Right. Yeah, hang on. Let me do this. Text. Iron. Bam. So this is the kanji for iron. Let's make it black so it's easier to see. Alright, I'll just have it there for this part. Try separating the roots of the kanji for iron.
分ける。辺は金辺。作りは。おお。
Paulette and Hachiroku both looked so happy seeing me begin to understand. That's quite interesting.
鉄とは金を失うこと。なるほど。鉄道事業とはそれほどに儲からんのか。
Okay. So, now, you got the kanji for gold. Which is this. And then the kanji for lost. Which is... this. Get rid of this. Let me see. I kind of see it. Right? Like when they say when she talks about the roots, right? You can see the left side of the kanji for iron looks like the kanji for gold, right? But I'm confused about lost. Right? I don't know if this is the right kanji. I don't think it is. Because I know it isn't correct. Because there's another kanji for lost, which is the root. So, I guess you're learning Japanese now. But not really. You're learning what the kanji for iron, gold, and lost is. And you're learning what a kanji root is.
設備維持費、修繕費、燃料費、人件費、税、その他もろもろ。鉄道は固定費がかかりすぎるんですよ。
Just get rid of the kanji now. I accidentally pressed cancel, so I got rid of gold and lost.
それはまあ、そうだろうとは思うが。
蹄鉄が夢見ていた全線電化。それがもっと進んでいれば、少しは事情も違ったのかもしれないですけれど。電車のことはご存知ですか？
子供時代、新聞か何か見たことがある。電気で走る列車のことだよな、確か。
A satisfied nod.
エアクラの普及によりあだ花となってしまいましたが、電車は固定費削減の切り札となるはずだったんです。
I understand what Paulette is saying. Electrified trains were to replace the locomotives. Yeah. bullet trains. Well, Shinkansen are the evolution of electrified trains. However,
電車というのは電線がないと走れるものだろう。電線を前線に敷く経費は凄まじいものになるのでは。
そうだろうって思います。それでも蹄鉄は強く電化を推し進めようとしていました。
つまり設備投資が巨額でも都度の経費の削減で十分に回収できるという計算が立っていたということか。
correct. Paulette nods. It is a lot of upfront costs, right? But the maintenance costs are a lot lower than locomotive, is essentially what they're saying. Her smile has long disappeared and been replaced with a serious expression.
それほどまでに固定費負担は重く苦しい。鉄道経営は常に固定費との戦いなんです。
そうなのか。まだ実感がつかめんが。
100円を売り上げるのにいくらの経費がかかるかを営業係数と言うんですけれど。
Sudden hesitation. Silence as if she is reluctant to continue.
蹄鉄末期、これが1000を超えている地方路線はザラだったと聞いています。
100円稼ぐのに1000円以上かかるのか。ものすごい大赤字ではないか。
Yep. My unexpected surprise is accepted as fact by Hachiroku.
その話は事実です。蹄鉄は国有鉄道という性質上、もともとそれを許容する体質でした。
They would make their money at lines and nearby businesses, at the capital and other major cities, and use that money to support regional lines that operated at a loss to maintain their network. Structure that Hachiroku mentioned naturally would fall apart once the aircraft were introduced in cities.
前世紀から蹄鉄はあまりに巨大すぎました。理念と現実が一致せず、上部と末端は乖離していました。
Hachiroku continues with her calm commentary while Paulette locks
1に
the
特
puck.
急、2に急行、3子がなくて5に乗客と笑う職員までいましたから、見放されるのも一瞬でした。
Fat fingered it. Calm commentary while Paulette looks on with teary eyes. But where are the tears in her eyes? A hostile tone, silence that weighs everything down. Cautiously, Paulette tries to cut in.
そこまで細かく知っているっていうことは、86さんはやっぱりもともとは蹄鉄の。
はい。蹄鉄8620系蒸気機関車、8620トップナンバー機の専用レールロード。それが私の出自です。
8620国産量産第1号蒸気機関車。
A placid voice, as if she's reading from a dictionary, but Paulette's cheeks gradually turn red.
その栄誉あるトップナンバー専用レールロードとまさかお会いできるだなんて、嬉しいです。
Okay, I thought Hachiroku would have been the devs like insert, but I think Paulette is the insert. A human is paying her respects to Hachiroku, a thing. But Hachiroku's not surprised. She listens to Paulette as if it isn't her first time hearing it.
なんという幸運。素晴らしい栄誉です。まさかそれほどの期待がお人よに来てくれるだなんて。
Hato is the one who brought her. I knew that Hachiroku had some kind of worth, but I didn't know the extent of it.
86 86さん、私。
A heavy sigh. She starts fidgeting. Just like when we first met, Paulette starts getting coy.
もしよければ、迷惑でなければ、8620も見せてもらえれば嬉しいなーって。ポーレット様。
A suppressed voice. That's enough to turn Paulette's cheeks bright red.
様とかも基本恥ずかしいですから。では、ポーレットさん。
As if she realized something just now, Paulette straightens her posture. She then bows down to me with proper etiquette.
オーナーである相鉄くん、相鉄さんを置いてごめんなさい。
いや、構わんさ。
私、鉄道のことになると熱中しちゃって。
Yeah, okay, Paulette is the character insert. She doesn't need to explain. I can tell just by listening to her talk for 5 minutes.
そこまで夢中になれるのはむしろ長所だろう。夢中になり、かつ気遣いを忘れるのなら上等だ。
A quiet voice. Paulette's cheeks turn even brighter red.
ありがとう。それで、相鉄様、ポーレットさんのご要望についてなのですが。
Hatsuroku has not shown me Steam Locomotive 8620 or 8620. Or rather, she hasn't even tried to go find it. I naturally assume that there are some special circumstances, so I changed the subject as Hachiroku seemed to want.
その判断を行うためにも、今は状況の整理を進めておきたいのだが。
ああ、そうでしたね。ごめんなさい、私。話を寄り道させちゃいましたね。
He said digress instead of digress instead of derail. Right? Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced. Paulette straightens her posture again.
マイ鉄の話でしたね。そういう事情で、鉄道網はズタズタになりました。
She's talking like a teacher again. Or perhaps Paulette has a tendency to tense up in public and relax in private.
それでも、鉄道を必要とする地域は点在しています。しかし、地方の小規模鉄道の黒字化は極めて困難です。
うん。そこは説明で納得できた。
そこで固定費を削減のため、鉄道車両をボランティアに個人所有してもらうということを広島が始めました。
広島？
そうなんです。毛利のお姫様の広島毛利電気鉄道がマイ鉄という互助システムの出発点です。
What the fuck?
電気鉄道ですか？名前だけではなく。市電なんです、広電は。ですから画線も容易で、大廃線以前から完全電化がされていました。
Municipal railway? Wait.
市電っていうのは都市内を走る電車のことです。路面電車とも言われます。外国ではいくらか見られて発展しているところもあるみたいです。けど今の日の本国内だと市電はそのまま広電さんですね。
Interesting.
ガセン？
電車線路の上空を走る電線を敷設することです。敷設された電線自体もガ線って呼ぶみたいですね。
Okay, what the fuck is Gassen?
電車を走らせるために必要な電気を供給するために線路上の空中に走らせてある電線がガ線です。各電車線っていうちょっとかっこいい名前。
I didn't think they had a special name. I thought they were just electric lines. Paulette writes it out on a piece of paper. Despite her Western appearance, her calligraphy skills are good.
これで河川か。河川と読みそうに思えるが。
切れた時川と紛らわしくなっちゃうので、そう呼ぶことに決めたそうですよ。毛利のお姫様が。
なるほど。河川との区別のためか。相当に気の回る人物らしいな。毛利の姫様とやらは。
This is more Japanese shit that'll fly over any Westerner's head.
大人物です。マイテツ界きっての有名人ですし。
Or most, I guess. She gives a long, drawn-out sigh.
出てきたのですね。そのような人物が、私が長く長く眠ってしまっていたその間に。
You must have been impressed. Hachiroku's cheeks are also pink.
自伝とはいえ全宣伝家など、よくもそれほどの偉業を。
毛利のご先代も鉄でしたから。
Paulette sounds proud of it for some reason.
車両も独自開発の独自所有でした。それを大敗戦後、毛利のお姫様が可視したんです。
The train cars and rail lords are transferred to individuals. The individuals then are responsible for maintaining them, and in exchange for that, they receive the right to use the rail line.
なるほど。線路の負担を毛利家が、列車の負担は可視された各々が、と分担したのか。
うまいことを考えましたね。線路なしには列車は置物。しかも整備をせずには走れない。
そして鉄たるもの、自分の列車を走らせるためならお金に糸目をつけたりしませんから。
鉄は趣味でも金を失うものなのですね。
Hachiroku and Paulette look each other in the eye and nod.
つまりマイ鉄とは個人で列車を所有し走らせる、そうした鉄道マニファンのことですね。
As she says, she was about to say maniacs, but stops and replaced that with fans. I understand Hachiroku's consideration. Term Tetsu refers to the railway enthusiasts. These railway enthusiasts have their own railways, a Tetsudo, hence Maitetsu. Right. Okay. That explains that explains the name.
そうです。
I jump in surprise because it seems like she knew what I was thinking.
大敗戦後の鉄道文化をギリギリ支えてるのは地方地方の民間鉄道とマイ鉄たちなんです。
All Paulette did was answer Hachiroku's doubts. Faint sigh smooths out my words.
ならば、ポーレットもマイ鉄なのだな。
はい、私はレーナとキハ 07S のマイ鉄です。かつ、お人よ鉄道株式会社の社長でもあります。
There it is, there's Kiaha 7. I was waiting for it to become a glossary entry.
キハ07は旧蹄鉄キハ07型機動車のことですね。もともとは別の名前のガソリン機動車だったんですけど、ディーゼル機動車改造を受けて、その時キハ07っていう新しい形式称号
Okay, and then you've got
キハ
and then you've got K15,
最も有名でございます。
R15, and then
九州
Kuha
初の営業運
26.
転電車となるはずだった。蹄鉄最末期の
制限とは
Alright. The mayor and the president. That's quite the resume. The workload must be intense as well. The low approval ratings from the people who Navi mentioned could be a result of how busy she is.
社長ですか。道理で経営の話などお詳しいはずですね。
そんな、あの程度別に社長じゃなくっても、その、鉄なら誰でも知ってることです。
そうなのか。マニアはすごいな。
Thanks for the hydrate, Dexter.
そうなんでしょうか。だけど本当に普通のこと。
And the stretch. Paulette shifts her gaze toward the back door of the rail shop as it opens.
皆さん、楽しそうですね。何のお話ですか？レイナも混ぜてくださいな。
Kato, with good wishes, trying to finish up Frostpunk and decide if I will go for the DLCs or not, but reminded to get some rest after the stream. Thank you, Meow. And also hello. Frostpunk DLC, I would recommend it. Coming from someone who has never played Frostpunk.
お疲れ様レイナ。
Jesus Christ, what happened there? Anyway, now that the demon's been executed, what's the word? Exercised, yeah.
お疲れ様レイナ。
Thought I said something wrong. God damn it, Dexter. You should have warned me.
レイナ、疲れてませんよ。
Also, you told me to, you told me to mute Reina so I do her voice. Hang on.
レイナ、疲れてませんよ。
Why am I doing this? No, I'm not going to. I changed my mind. Paulette taps her legs for Reina to come sit on her lap as if it were rehearsed. Do it? What do you mean? Reina trots. Wow.
なるほど。それが整備ボディか。
はいです。整備をして、ちゃんときれいに洗ってきました。
You got my hopes up? In Japanese or in English? Which one? Both? What do you mean, both? I'm only doing one, so pick. Cleaning? Did she just take a bath? Did she take a bath? The smell of flowers tickles my nose.
きれいにしないといけないのです。レールショップはお客様が来るところですから。
Okay, if I'm gonna pick, I'll pick which one, the shortest line.
レイナ、疲れてませんよ。
Ugh. Alright.
レイナ、疲れてませんよ。
Hang on,
レイナ、疲れてませんよ。
Japanese. I'll try and. Reina, tsukaretemasu. Hang
レ
on.
イナ、疲れてませんよ。
Tsukaretemase.
レ
Wait.
イナ、疲れてませんよ。
Yeah, tsukaretemaseyo. It's not masen because that would mean she isn't doing fine. Reina, maseyo. Okay. Fucking. Alright. Let me. Nagi would be worse. I don't want to do Nagi. Reina, karete maseyo. Alright, okay. We're moving on.
なるほど。それは礼儀にかなっている。
えひひ、それに、
あ
A worn out hip flask. She pops the top off in a fluid motion and gulps down the contents of it. You should voice act her. No.
よ、よ、て
She wipes the side of her mouth and the tip of the bottle as if it were the tastiest thing in the world. Her style of drinking is unfitting the way she looks. I'm honestly surprised at that.
ずいぶんと強いようだな。
そうですよ。レイナ、力持ちです。だから、働くとお腹がとっても空いちゃうんです。
Voice act the line from Hachidoku. Alright, fine. Whenever the next one comes up, I guess, he carefully puts away the hip flask. Unless it's a long one. Rana looks happily at her clothes and Paulette.
ご飯はきれいなところできれいにして食べるともっと美味しくなりますから。
なるほど。ご飯？
そうなんです、相鉄さん。レイナが飲んだの、レイナのご飯。
I'm not surprised. I was like, what do you mean alcohol? A slight smell of oil. Light oil, that's probably Raina's fuel. You have to do Nagi at some point. He's very extroverted. Hang on. Okay, there's the Nagi example. I don't remember which one's Nagi. Your Nagi.
なんか面白そうなことしとるばい。
Oh god. No, not reset to default.
なあ、86の石炭と。
I just remembered. Actually, I should have asked earlier. Hachiroku kept a straight face the whole time, but I feel ashamed of myself.
ポーレット、すまんが力を貸してほしい。
私、はい、もちろん、相鉄さんの力になれるなら頑張ります。
それは助かる。頼みというのは石炭を分けてほしいということなのだが。
石炭？はい、あります。
Thank God. I was about to say, when are they gonna fucking feed Hachiroku? She looks at Hachiroku with a smile and sets Reina to the ground before standing up.
こっちです。少しだけ歩きます。ここが投炭練習場です。
The shoveling practice space. Ain't no way that's a thing. She eats the coal adorably. Right. I don't know how you can eat coal adorably, but I guess Rena drank crude oil adorably. So, you know. Yeah, I can do this one. I did say the next line, right? See? I can do Hachiroku. Okay, it was either gonna go out. It was either gonna be two things, right? This is why I said excluding long lines, because it was either gonna be that when I said next line, it was either gonna be a short one, or it was gonna be a fucking paragraph long. And you know, I didn't want to do that one. Wow. That's pretty much what Hachiroku is trying to say.
素晴らしいですね。これは上等の国内炭ではないですか。
This is what I mean. It's not a paragraph, but you know.
私にはよくわからないんですけど、86さんが言うならきっとそうなんですね。
I mean like 1 or 2 words. Or 3.
安物の輸入炭とは黒さが違いますから。
Hachiroku picks up a piece of coal and rubs it. Her eyes gaze at it as if she were preparing for a feast. That's right. Hachiroku calls herself a maiden. Then I'm sure she wouldn't want to beg for food.
すまんが、86に石炭を補充できていなくてな。もしよければ。
どうぞどうぞ、お好きなだけ。うちではずっと使えないままでいたものですから。
さようですか。では、失礼して。
I guess I can do that. Okay, fine. Hang on, let me see.
さようですか。
さようですか。
失礼して。
では、失礼し、hang on.
さようですか。では、失礼して。
失礼して。
さようですか。では、失礼して。
さようです。No, I can't do it. There's something that I...
さようですか。では、失礼して。さようですか。では、失礼して。
Alright, fine. I've got something. Alright, so Hachiroku.
さようですか。では、失礼して。
さようですか。では、失礼して。That's the best I got. Alright. Yeah. I forgot. Why is my... Hello? Me? Wait. Go back. Hello? Why is my model not working? I see your cursor. Hang on. Man, it froze. Of course you see my cursor, because I didn't hide it for VTube Studio. Relaunch. There you go, I'm back. Sayo desu ka? Dewa, jitsu shite. Yeah. Never again. Chomp, crunch, crack. She eats it whole with her small mouth. She takes it in large chunks, one after another. Try the MILF? I mean, the deeper the voice, the easier it would be. The easier it'd be for me. The way she tries to cover her mouth with her left hand just makes the loud crunching noises all the more impressive.
こちらもなかなかに豪快だな。
そうですね。
Hi, Fukami. Oh god, hang on. Which one's Fukami?
船の方にご案内します。水しぶきかからないよう気をつけてください。
Fine, I'll do them when they come back. Hibiki? Oh god. When Fukami shows up, I'll try. When Hibiki comes back, I'll try it. A soft voice. Paulette looks unhappily as she watches Hachiroku enjoy her first meal in a long time.
だから固定費との戦いなんです。
Nagi and Hibiki are probably the worst for you. Yeah, you're right.
なるほど。
The coal continues to disappear. Looking at this makes it all the more convincing. Hachiroku is small. And look how she eats. How it's cold would the entire locomotive consume? No, brain is smaller than Hachiroku and earlier.
相当な量を飲むのか。
Before I realize how I'm lacking in eloquence, Paulette answers happily.
そうですね。レイナはディーゼル気動車ですから。
機動車。
さっき乗ってもらったように、運転台と客席が一つの車両に一緒になってるのが気動車です。
She must have anticipated that question. Her answer came out before I even asked.
機関車は客席を持たず、客車や貨車を牽引する車両。863の8620は蒸気で動く機関車だから SL ですね。
SL, a steam locomotive. EL is a diesel locomotive. EL is an electric locomotive, she says.
電気機関車は電車とは違うものなのか。
そうですね。電車は厳密には電気機動車のことです。でも電車っていう略称っぽいのが実は正式名称なんです。
車両にもいろいろあるのだな。動力は蒸気、ディーゼル、電気で全てか。
Do the protagonist? I mean, I did do the protagonist when he was younger, and then you told me not to say his inner voice in a kid act in a high pitched voice.
だけじゃないです。ガソリン気動車もありますよ。
Raina pops out of nowhere and draws out our attention by pointing.
レイナはディーゼル機動車と聞いたが。
今はそうです。でもレイナ、もともとはガソリン気動車だったんですよ。
That was for reading. Story reading. This is for entertainment. Okay. Crunch. A loud sound of pulverizing coal. Hajiroku interrupts her meal and begins to listen in.
ガソリン駆動からディーゼル駆動に改造を受けたという解釈でいいか。
Fine. When the next line shows up, that's small enough for me to remember the Japanese of it.
大正解です。レイナ、ディーゼルになって前よりも力持ちさんになれたんですよ。
なるほどな。足回り不安とやらはその反動で。
Do the grandpa? Which one? There looks like there's this one, Minokasa. Yes.
ああ、今市長さんから電話もらっておりました。
He just sounds like the grandpa from Sugar Sweet Temptation, and I already did an impression there, just not in Japanese.
はい。けどそれじゃなくて。
Paulette glances at Hachiroku. The one above other females to her. Oh, hang on. Her, Michiko.
お人形になら置いてかれない。
When she shows up.
そんなの。
Alright. I said this for I said this for the other girls that haven't showed up yet. I'll do them when they show up. Not in that way. Hachiroku continues munching down on coal, as if she already heard that what she needed to.
そのレーナも時々処理落ちしちゃうんです。改造で車両の方の出力が上がった影響で。
See, I can do it. The napping that surprised Hachiroku must be the slowdown she's referring to. That's the Hachiroku has been holding on mine as well.
危険はないのか。処理落ちとやらに。
Raina's gaze shifts to Paulette. Paulette gently pats Raina as if to reassure her.
そう長時間にはなりませんし、何かあった時のための運転士、レイルロードの二重安全体制ですし。
See, I can do the hmms. Hachiroku doesn't say anything. I should be the last person to say something about it.
ところで、相鉄さんはどんなご用でお人よに帰ってらしたんですか？
Unavi, when she comes back, alright? What aren't you getting? I need a voice to compare it to. She must want to change the subject. A somewhat frantic remark makes my heart jump. And I'm not using the examples in the sound setting, okay?
なぜ知っている？僕が帰ってきたのだと。
それは、右竹といえば、高額納税者ナンバーワンですから、お人よしの。
なるほど。僕もここでは有名人というわけなのか。
Migita is the biggest taxpayer family. Hang on. Did I read that right? Migita family is the biggest taxpayer of Ohitoyo. Right. Although I didn't realize it at all. That just may be how things are. But that's a little unfortunate.
勘違いした。僕と君とが昔会ってでもいるのかと。
A croak resembling a death rattle. Paulette's face becomes obviously crestfallen, and she begins to mumble to herself.
フランク語か？それは。
What did he say?
フランク語か？それは。
Because this is... He won't know until probably her route. Great. Yeah, of course he isn't.
フランク語か？それは。
Because this is a short enough sentence that I can quote unquote do, but I need a frankokuwa. Is that what he said? Because it's Franconian, right?
フランク語か？それは。
Frankokuka, sorewa. Is it supposed to be French? I guess? Alright, hang on.
フランク語か？それは。
Frankokuka, sorewa.
フランク語か？それは。
Right. I think I got it. Right.
フランク語か？それは。
Frankokuka, sorewa. I guess it's because of Franconian, but yeah, if there was another word there that, you know, that the katakana felt that katakana matched the spelling, you know, I would be less confused.
相鉄さん、フランク語？まさか意味とか。
Frankokugo.
いや、意味まではわからん。友人がフランク語に堪能で、耳慣れさせられてしまったというだけの話だ。
そうなんですか。
Yeah. Is it Fransonian? Or how did she say yeah, hang on.
いや、意味。
Oh.
相鉄さん、フランク語？まさか意味とか。
She said Furankugo, right? because
フランク語かそれは。
what did she say in that language? Hang on. Good question. I don't know. A sigh of relief. I wait for the sigh to end before answering.
僕がお人よに帰ってきたのは、エアクラ工場誘致計画を撤回させるそのためだ。
私もなんです。
知っている。前市長もポーレットも、エアクラ工場誘致に反対し続けているということを。
はい。
Her sudden outburst of joy wanes again. Previous mayor died from an illness, I believe. I felt sorry for making her remember it, but that's all the more reason to tell her everything.
ここでこう話しているのも何かの縁だ。反対派同士、協力し合える部分がないかと考えている。
それでしたら。
A determined voice. The wavering in emotion is gone from her voice completely. Whether it be as the mayor or as the president, Paulette is speaking to me as a professional.
863の8620をぜひ、お人よ鉄道で走らせてくれませんか？
蒸気機関車をお人よで？
はい。86系は美しい蒸気機関車ですから、きっと観光振興の目玉にできるって思うんです。
観光振興か。
That doesn't sound bad at all. If we can broadcast to people that Ohitoyo is a town of clean water and hot springs, it would naturally create an opposition to the factory.
そうなれば、キハ07も交番に入れるようになりますし、車体使用料も黒字化したらお支払いするようにします。
Okay, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I've been looking at the character's eyes this entire time, and I don't think Hachiroku has blinked once. Outside of her speaking, I guess, because you look at Reina and her blinking is like it's a bit sporadic, and then Paulette. Yeah, she's only blinking when she speaks as well. So why does Reina blink so much? Right? In other words, they're operating at a loss now. If that's one of Paulette's burdens, helping her will also bring in support for those opposing the factory.
僕としては悪くない話であると考える。が、86、鉄道のことはお前の判断を尊重しよ
う。ご信頼をありがとうございます、相鉄様。
Yeah, see, when Hachiroku speaks, or when Paulette speaks, they both blink. But Ran is like the only one who's constantly blinking. I doubt she's calmer simply because her stomach is full, but Hachiroku's mannerisms have become even more elegant.
いただいたお話自体は十分検討に値するものかと存じます。ですが、今は時期ではありません。
Yeah, as elegant as someone who stuffed their face full of coal 10 minutes ago is. Look, I don't know much about coal, but I know charcoal. And charcoal gets fucking everywhere when you try to work with it. Alright? It will stain. Well, okay, not stain in a sense, but if she ate charcoal, right, her face would have been covered in it. Her teeth would have all been black. Especially around her lips, her hands would be covered in fucking charcoal dust. With coal, I'm not sure. I've never worked with it.
時期ではない。
はい。なぜなら私にはマスター、機関士がまだいないからです。
Upon saying that, Hachiroku turns around. Why'd she do a little jump there? When she turns back to me, she's carrying a rectangular shovel, slightly too large for her. That's why we're here. It's for Sotetsu to practice shoveling coal.
1キロ用の投炭スコップ。現場ではワンスコと呼ばれるものです。
なるほど。
Hachiroku holds up some soot and the shovel.
私は相鉄様に私の機関士にマスターになっていただきたく望んでいます。
なるほど。これは騎士の剣というわけか。
I grab the so-called one scoop casually. I feel that it is my duty to do so.
ならば86、僕はお前の機関士と。
Even though he knows nothing about trains, he will learn for Hachiroku's sake.
そう簡単になれるものでもございません。
Hachiroku turns to a spot behind me. There is a device with a round hinge door and a neat pile of coal next to it.
蒸気機関車を操るための初歩にして究極の技術は投げ込みです。
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure Sotetsu is really good at thrusting. What? Never mind. Even when railways were in their prime, did raillords ever have to instruct engineer candidates? Hachiroku picks up a small gardening shovel and scoops up a chunk of coal with perfect form. Great minds think alike when it came to thrusting. Yep.
かっこいいです。
The shovel in her right hand continues moving with her free hand, while her free hand pulls down a thin chain with one seamless gesture. The round hinge door opens up, and she tosses the coal inside.
なるほど。確かに投げ込みだ。これがその練習する装置なわけだ。
投炭練習機です。鎖を引いて釜を開け、その奥を覗き込んでください。
So this is the furnace. You toss in coal and burn it with fire. This cauldron must be made to resemble that.
床に何やら区分けがあるな。数字が記されてもいるが。
その数字のマスに、その数字の順番に石炭を繰り返し投げ込んでいくのが投炭練習です。
Yeah, thank God they used actual coal for the practice. Or else Hachiroku wouldn't have any food. It's easy. That's what Hachiroku's gaze tries to tell me. Paulette diligently takes notes. Reina is looking at me with pity for some reason.
これをすれば機関士になれるというなら、無論やるさ。
そのお言葉を待っていました。
Look at that smile. Hachiroku smiles. A bright, graceful smile.
それでは、体慣らしの100杯から投炭練習を始めましょう。
This is his training arc. All right, Sotetsu has to scoop 100. Has to shovel 100 scoops of coal into this furnace every day and every night until he's perfected the form. Maitetsu. Maitetsu. You had the Japanese and English. I'm finally home. And I'm going to end it there for today. Thanks for watching.